Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I am the host of this series, Let Me Tell You More, and today I'm here to tell you more about Nicki Puckett. Nicki Puckett, take it away.
Hi, my name is it's Nicki Puckett, and I started a business recently called Nicki Puckett Creative Services. So it originally started with I was trying to just find out kind of like a side hustle to do because I quit my teaching job, and I was trying to find out or figure out what I could possibly do while I could still homeschool my son, like with his hours, because that was something that we both really wanted to do. So I tried a lot of different things. I learned some skills online. I took a virtual assistant course. I learned how to do design. I did some web design, graphics design, and um, from there, I also started doing caricatures, and I started going to fairs and things like that, flea markets. And honestly, that really was a hit. And there wasn't really anyone doing it in my area. So I just continued to do it because it was fun. Like I love drawing caricatures. And I just started to do it more and more until it kind of morphed into what I would consider, well, I call it a fart time job. It's a funny term, like in between full and part time, but it's really just maybe a little bit more seasonal. But I do draw a lot, and since then I've expanded, and I'm doing more and more in my area now. And I also it also kind of snowballed into doing pet portraits because I just mentioned a few times, oh, I can draw dogs and cats too, and that just turned into just such a big thing where a lot of people wanted pet portraits and drawings done. So I just did. I learned how to do them quick and like a caricature style, and I also offer those as well. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Amongst other things, I would say I'm a freelance virtual designer as well, and yeah, and just trying to figure it out, trying to grow a business. And I've never really done that before, so it's just like I don't know, it's like two steps forward, three steps back. Sometimes you're just trying to figure stuff out. It's tax season. I'm an artist. I'm like, what the heck are these numbers? I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to try my best.
For the people who don't know exactly what a caricature is,
Yeah.
what is that?
So a caricature, it's like a cartoon. So I work with markers. I actually like brush tip as well as Sharpies and super fine tip Sharpies. So I'll take my permanent marker and I'll have a person sit in front of me or several people, and they will be sitting in front of me live, and I will just quickly draw their face, and I'll try to just capture their expression or their essence, I should say, capture the essence of someone quickly. So I'll draw their face real quick. It's a very, very quick sketch almost, and it turns out usually funny cartoons, and you will exaggerate their features oftentimes. So say for example, if someone has a really big afro or something, then you would just like I would make the afro like go off the page, all frizzy. Or someone has big teeth, I'll make the teeth extra big. um, Things like that. Maybe if someone has a really long neck, you bet your bottom dollar I'm gonna draw it real skinny, like just a really thin line. So it's like exaggerated features, and they're supposed to be fun. I love it. It makes people happy. I love doing it.
And I will also note that I have purchased from her before, and she's telling the truth. Like, it really is. How do you even do that? Because it's like you draw it and you can see it's the person already. Like, you can see that, but you do it, first of all, you do it really fast when you do caricatures. How do you still make it look like them, but cartoon like?
That's a really good question. Like really good. So I would say really it just takes a ton of practice
Mhm.
and observation. So if maybe anyone in your audience is curious about starting to be an artist, I would just say it's just practice. Maybe even go somewhere, go to a public place where there are people and just do it for free a lot, just to get that practice down and kind of get your skill down. I've been doing it for about 20 years. So I
Oh,
actually learned, I was around 17 or 18, like a teenager, and it was a summer job for me. I learned at an amusement park how to do it. So, and they kind of taught me, I might have had a few lessons but really like they just kind of showed me the line strokes, and just showed me a couple of tips, like how to do the eyes or the lashes but
mhm.
really they were just like, okay, so you're going to go out in the park and you're just going to practice and you're going to do a ton of free demos and we'll let you know when you're good enough to start charging. And
Oh,
that's
okay.
about it. So I would just say practice on a whole ton of different people, like a variety, and different types, different features, and just practice. Maybe look at some examples.
Mhm.
You can YouTube caricature artists or caricature speed drawing, and I'm sure you can find out like how other people do it, and just it's just practice. It's just grit, man. Because when I first started, I sucked.
So that was your introduction to art?
Oh
The
no, no, I've been an artist like, since I was a little kid, like
Oh, okay.
before, always been an artist. I've done other stuff too. Like I was an art teacher for most of my career for like 13 years.
Oh, okay.
So I've done, and then just love art, all different kinds.
Mhm.
Dabble in everything. Necklaces, I'd like to do stained glass, painting, murals, just anything. And like I said, digital design.
So was it the clients that made the caricatures go crazy, or was it you love to do them so much that you decided to make that like the main thing?
I would say it was a little bit of both. Um, I would say it's like it's a two-way street. It's like I don't want to say symbiotic because that's not the right word. It's a transactional feeling. Like
Mhm.
I like to do them and it's pretty profitable when you get good at it. You can
Mhm.
make profit because they're fast. So
Right.
you're kind of drawing and you can kind of make good money in an hour because you can
Mhm.
do them fast. But of course that takes years of practice I mean, for me to have my prices be what they are,
Mhm.
it just takes experience.
Right.
But it just makes people so happy. Is like you'll see it and they'll just light up and it brings so much joy to people and they just just and I love that. And you get to talk to people. There's a lot of interaction between me and my customers.
Mhm.
And it's just really awesome. I think it's like raising the vibration uh,
Right.
of the
Now,
planet.
tell me about pricing because that's something a lot of artists have a problem with, pricing their work.
Yeah, me too. it's it's tough. It's
It
tough
is.
because, and a lot of time, I know what you're talking about. Probably artists, even though they've been doing it for years,
Mm-hmm.
they don't really value, like they don't value, or I don't know what it is. Is like they feel weird about pricing stuff too high.
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly what you mean.
And maybe it's just we don't know the value of our
Yeah,
work. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well,
Like
I
we just look
started.
at the piece of artwork, but maybe we don't think about the time included. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know about that one. That's really hard. I do know when I first started, like I resigned. I was a high school art teacher, and a few years ago, I made the decision to resign,
Mhm.
without anything lined up really. Luckily, I have a supportive husband, so he was, it's like him and I were a team together.
Mhm.
Uh, I didn't have anything lined up, and I didn't really know what I was going to do, but I just started maybe doing a few small shows,
Mhm.
and yes, my prices were low. I was like, so they started off low, and then I realized, oh man, and then it was like, man, I'm tired. I'm getting so much business. Oh, I can bump it up a little. And then
Right.
I bumped it up like $5. And then I'm
Mhm.
like, you know what? And then it just started to not feel good because I was working so hard and, my arm was going so much and it started to not feel good. So I
Mhm.
was like, I think it would feel better. It's almost like a feeling.
Mhm.
What do you feel like you're worth? And what do you feel like your art's worth? And you
Right.
kind of just got to go off your feeling. I feel like intuition maybe. And
Yeah.
that wasn't feeling good. So then I
Right.
bumped it up some more. I'm like, I've been doing this for 20 years. I have a good product. I feel like I can maybe raise that price a little more. And
Mhm.
now I'm at a place where I finally feel good.
Don't you just hate it though when you price it up some more and then you go like 2 weeks without a sale? of some kind, because then you're like, oh, but did I price it too high? Up until you get the
Yes.
sale, you feel like,
And then you get all self-conscious and you're like, oh no.
yeah,
So
exactly.
I so a vendor actually at the Gatlinburg Craftsman Fair, I was there in October. He told me such great advice. And he said, you can always lower your price, but you can't raise it. So
Right,
you can think about that. Like if I don't know what kind of, artists sometimes, of course, they sell their stuff online, but if you are at a show or a vendor at a show,
hmm,
it's true. You could always come down, but you can't go up. So maybe you can have your price point be higher. And if no
right,
one's buying, then say, hey, we're doing a sale right now, and maybe kind of come down a little.
right. But how does a caricature artist make their money? How do you get your customers to see your work and
Okay.
buy it? You know what I mean?
Yes. So this is seriously, it's kind of it's kind of stupid, silly, and ridiculous. And but really, okay, so I have my easel, and I'll oftentimes have a canopy with signs. By the way, that's something, and I guess I'm sort of talking as a vendor artist. I guess I'm more like a vendor, like, hey, I'm at a fair or a craft show or something.
Mhm,
I really highly recommend you getting any artists out there getting like a professional setup,
mhm,
going on Vistaprint or something like that, in a program and ordering some professional vinyl, signs that actually showcase your work,
mhm.
because it really just brings your stuff to another level. Like when people
Right,
see that, it just looks like you're more legitimate, more
right.
professional.
Mhm,
Even if it's just a small sign, like a few small signs.
mhm,
So anyway, I would have that. So I think that helps, just having like some good advertising with
mhm,
my work. And I have a big vinyl banner of my work, like samples of my caricatures. This is it though, I'm telling you. I have my easel, I got my blank paper, and I just have to be drawing, and it doesn't have to be a paying customer. I draw from my phone sometimes.
mhm.
As long as I'm making lines on that paper, people who are walking by, they'll stop. And then, I don't know what it is. Like I have to be drawing, because if I'm
Uh-huh.
just sitting there kind of hanging out, like, hey, it doesn't really work. It's like I have to be in that process of like actually creating the lines and the art, and then it
Mhm.
draws people in, no pun intended. But
Right.
it does, it just draws them in. And then I see
Mhm.
them looking, and I'm like, I can draw you too. I
All
can draw
right.
from photos.
So do
It,
you think that caricature artists should like go to the craft shows and amusement parks and all those things? Do you think that caricature artists would do better if they go to find the work or
well, that's what I've done, and
mm,
it's been pretty successful.
okay.
There's also a couple of websites that you can get involved in, that are actually booking websites, and I just recently did that. I think Gig Salad is one of them. Have you ever heard of Gig Salad?
No, I have not.
It's like for performers and entertainers and stuff like that.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
yeah, like musicians, and you'll go on there, and then people looking for entertainment, like at parties. And that's something too, is I can actually, and I've done this many times, is you can hire me for a wedding, or you can hire, and then I'll come and I'll set my easel up, and then I'll draw all the guests, or, family reunions or something.
Oh, that's
That's pretty cool.
cool. That
Yeah,
is
so that's
cool.
that's really neat. And it's, that's super fun. And I just do black and white, and I'll just draw as many faces, as possible per hour. So that's pretty cool. And then also when you do that though, and I say yes for sure, um, you probably need to, yeah, maybe just do a little practice. And it just depends. Like if you're new and you're just becoming an artist or a caricature artist, your prices might be a little bit lower. If you're still kind of new, it just kind
Mhm,
of depends.
mhm,
And it also depends on the vendor fee. All
mhm.
craft shows are different. All fairs are different. Oh, I've done some Comic Cons too. Those are super fun. Do you know
Oh,
about Comic Con?
cool. Yeah.
And everyone's in costume, so it's just like
Yeah.
super fun. I've drawn some fun costumes and stuff. Um,
That's super cool. That would
yeah,
probably be a really fun one.
yeah. So you just kind of got to just gauge, and then you'll, oh, that's a good show. I'm going to do that next year. So you can kind of
Mhm,
like tick that one. Oh, check mark. That's a good show. I did well there, and you
mhm,
can just kind of keep track of it.
mhm,
I'd like to use my Google Calendar, and I'll just put all my shows on there,
mhm,
and then I know for next year, like if I did well, and then I keep an Excel spreadsheet with all, how much I made, profits and
mhm.
like expenses. So that's helpful. Usually the higher vendor fees, sometimes they're very high and they might be scary,
All
like,
right.
$600 to $800 even
Ooh,
for 3 days. And I'm like, oh my God, that is high. But that usually means that there's a ton of people there. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So you kind of, and you just got to kind of feel it out. You got to take a chance a little.
Before we continue talking about the art, let's talk about the artist. So like where are you from?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Pennsylvania. I
Uh,
grew up around Eastern Pennsylvania, like Nazareth.
mhm.
That's where I started working at Dorney Park. It's a big amusement park up there. So
Oh, okay. And that was when you were like 17, 18 or something, right?
yeah, something like that, like 17 to maybe 20, somewhere like, and I worked a few summers there.
Oh, so that was before you became an art teacher.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So that was when I was very young before I went to school to become, I went to school for art education.
Uh-huh.
And then I've been teaching in various settings since then. But then I also had that skill of a caricature artist. And I would do stuff on and off, like parties, just a little bit here and there.
Uh-huh.
I do birthday parties, those events per hour events. Just kind of sprinkled, nothing too serious. But I've been
So
doing
it's
it like
like a
on
full
and off.
circle moment that now it's your
Yeah.
business.
Yes. And it just so happens, and it is what I found, it's profitable. It's the most profitable thing I've done so far, just freelancing.
Right.
And it's fun too, so I just keep doing it.
You said you were from Pennsylvania, so like where did the love of art come from for you?
I just think some people are just drawn to it for whatever reason.
So there
You know,
was no specific moment that you remember that made you love art. It's just something you always did
I've just
love.
always been, just even as a kid, always making, remember those little bracelets, the friendship bracelets and all that? And
Yes.
GIMP and everything. There was
Mhm.
GIMP and there was just like all these little crafty things that the
Yeah.
girls would do. I was just always into that. And I would just do all the, and paint by numbers and just like everything and just drawing. And crafts. I would just do all
Hmm.
the things, knit hats. I would knit hats and scarves and stuff. Just always, just that was just kind of my thing. Yeah, but now this is the thing that I'm learning right now, and it's a whole new ball game. Trying to be an entrepreneur,
I
or like,
know, right?
or I guess we're called entrepreneurs.
Yeah,
That's a whole new ball game, and I'm
it
still
really
learning.
is. That's when you have to put business in it, that's when it gets like, oh my God, man, so exhausting.
Yeah, and keeping up with your social media and all that,
Mhm. What was the thing that made you say, hey, I have to start this business and this is it because I got to get out of this other career?
I think maybe I wanted to, having existed in the public school system for 13 years,
Hmm.
I just really wanted more freedom over my time and sovereignty over my own life, and
Right.
not being having to be told, having a boss, oh, be there at this time, you have to clock in this time, because that's how it is when you're a teacher, like public school teacher. You
Right.
got to be ready, clock in at this time, clock out at this time.
Hmm.
And I was just like really sick. I just wanted something different than that.
Right.
So I think that motivated me to want to get into entrepreneurship and build a business of my own. That reason right there, just to have more freedom over my time. And I kind of already said, it's like, well, even if I have to sacrifice a little bit of, the comfort,
Hmm.
and money or whatever, that I think it's an illusion though. But whatever that is, like, sacrifice some of that
Hmm.
just to have my more freedom and sovereignty over my own life. I was willing to do that. And I think that's the attitude that you have to have.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you want that so bad that you'll do the things that you need to get there. Like, you'll take those steps. And also I love the flexibility of, oh, I'm gonna, like, I have so much, I don't have a boss right now.
Hmm.
And it just feels so good. But you also are a lot more accountable.
Yes, you
Like,
are.
if you sink, you're gonna sink because of you. If you
Hmm.
swim and you're doing good, it's because of your work. It's no one else to blame or to congratulate but you, really. So it's
Right.
like, it's a lot of just like, you gotta want it. You gotta do the little baby steps, whether it's a few baby steps every day to keep that ball rolling.
Hmm.
Um, I just love me being in the driver's seat and say, I'm going to schedule the show, or, oh, I don't want to work here because, we're going on vacation. I'm not going to schedule something for this weekend.
Mhm.
And the best thing is it works with my son's homeschool schedule. Like
Mm.
I'll be with him during the week, and on the weekends I do my stuff and I work most of the time.
Right.
Um, but everyone's situation is different. Some people, they're just in a situation where, they just have to maybe have a 9 to 5 or whatever it is.
Mhm.
But like I said, I mean, if you want it bad enough, you'll make it happen. But
Right.
you just have to believe too, because it's very scary.
If your life was a book, what would it be called?
Oh, I know. The world is my canvas. Because art, visual art and art, and it doesn't have to be on a canvas or on a piece of paper. Like art, you can create with so many different mediums everywhere. Even more, it could be so many different ways. Writing, speaking,
Hmm.
just
Right.
living, praying. Like it's all a blank canvas.
What is your favorite piece you've ever done?
I like to work with mosaics. So I
Mhm.
did this one really big tabletop where it was just like a sacred geometry piece. I would say I want to do more of those because it was really fun to make.
And that was for somebody else?
It's for me.
Oh,
It's
okay, so you have it.
yeah.
What's your least favorite piece you've ever done?
Sometimes I make jewelry and I just don't make them that well and they kind of break, in a couple weeks. And I'm like, man, I should have, like maybe it's a rock or something. I'm like, man, I should have fastened that a little better. I kind of need to practice that more.
Hmm.
That's the first thing that came to my mind.
What's the craziest request you've ever gotten for a caricature?
Okay, this just happened last October.
Hmm.
Someone wanted me to draw a picture of their 1-year-old baby, and it was their butt, and it was paint. There was a pumpkin in the picture that was someone painted a pumpkin on this baby's butt, and it was naked, and I felt real weird about it. And in fact, I felt so weird about it that I had my easel, like usually it's my easel's facing the people walking by. And
Uh-huh.
I felt so weird about it for that picture. I turned my easel around and like I kind of put up the thing so no one could see what I was drawing
Uh-huh.
because it made me feel so uncomfortable.
Right.
I just thought it was weird. I don't know. It's that, I was sitting there drawing a baby's butt with a pumpkin on it. Like it was like literally someone painted a pumpkin on their baby's butt and took a picture, like a cute little picture.
Well,
Hey, you asked the question, all right?
I don't know what to say about that. What's the best piece of advice you've gotten?
If you want to do something,
Mhm.
just do it. Be like Nike. You just got to do it. Like so many times, I've we've all been guilty of just procrastinating, but
Yes.
just so bad. Me too. I mean, everyone. It's like you just got to do it,
Mhm.
or you're just not going to do it, and it's
What's
not
your,
going to get done.
what is your worst piece of advice you've ever gotten?
Um, don't quit your job. What, are you crazy? You're in one of the best schools in Tennessee and you're going to quit your job? So, what? Don't do that. Stay there. You have good health insurance. You have benefits. You just stay put until you retire. So then you can have a pension.
Where can the viewers find you?
They can find me at NickiPuckettCreative.com. That's Nicki and
And
then
this is
Puckett.
your actual website.
Yes.
Okay.
And you can just, if you do want to contact me, I have like stuff. If you want to order a caricature from me, or even a pet portrait, you can go right on there and just kind of click and order it.
Mhm.
Just download your picture and I can send it to you in a tube. Also, if you want to get in touch with me for any other reason, like I do virtual assistant work
Mhm.
as well, you can fill out a form. And then Instagram, Nicki Puckett Creative on Instagram.
Mhm.
And my Facebook is Nicki Puckett Creative Services.
What's next for you? Like, what is your 2024 looking like?
So I would say a few days ago, well, we're just about to wrap up taxes. That's right. Yeah. So I just finished booking out the next 3 months of events and gigs, and then also got my cards. You just got to get those cards out, make those connections, network. Um, yeah, and that's it. Just just keep on rolling. Life is good. Just keep homeschooling, help my husband out, and Oh, we're also doing I'm doing art classes as well with homeschool, which is fun. Like we have a co-op in our house. My husband does the STEM because he's a scientist, and then I'm doing art classes, so that's kind of fun too. And anyone who thinks like if they have an idea, you can just do stuff, you really can. You
Right.
just got to learn how to do it and just figure out how to do it, and you can do stuff.
Hmm.
You know, you really can just figure out what your skills are, and then just kind of work on that. Like, um, people need people with skills.
What do you want the viewers, the people watching, the artists watching to take from this interview?
That if you have a dream, you just need to, like, if you have something seriously, I know it's corny and cliche, but if you have a dream and you just really want to pursue your dream, you just got to do it, or you're not going to be happy. You're just going to
Right.
suffer, and you're going to continue to suffer, and you're going to like drag your feet through the mud and suffer until you can start to begin manifesting that dream. And even, I mean, even if you're just on the journey, you will feel a lot better.
Right.
You feel a lot better as long as you're making steps towards the journey, even if it's little small steps. And it just
Awesome.
feels good. It just feels good to do, you know, what you dream that you want to do instead of doing someone else's dream, or just, hating life every day because you're in a job that you hate or something. Because I have a lot of faith, like I have a lot of faith in God that He, you know, you just got to trust in the universe and the doors will be opened for you. You just have to have that faith.
Hmm. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Nicki Puckett, for doing this interview with me. I hope that watching this interview inspired the artist in you.
Thanks for watching, guys. Bye. NikkiPuckettCreative.com.